Hi, this is Christina and Priska from Truth Bombs and Bloopers, and today we're going to talk about the things that are moving us in our current lives or in the current situations that we're in. And let's just start out. Christina, what is your truth bomb of the week or the weeks, the past weeks?
Yeah. So this week and last week was what was very present for me is accepting and allowing how you flow, your rhythm, your systems, and decondition yourself from what you thought should be. Like decondition from all the shoulds. And especially I realized that a lot of people realized during this pandemic and during this time at home where they felt they were kind of out of the box and were free to choose their rhythm, they suddenly realized, wow, actually I function much better if I have a nap at 2:00, or if I have if I start my day slow, or if I end my day earlier. And kind of everyone was able to test that more. And I think we are so conditioned, first of all, with the speed that we were in, but also kind of this linear way of thinking. Okay, it's all about the end goal of the day, and I think that's something that this phase is helping us to shift, to feel more into, and to give yourself permission to create your own structures and your own rhythms and your own cycles.
And how did that show up for yourself? Like, what are the specific things that you felt like, okay, this is something I want to do differently? Or like, how did you experience that in your own your own life?
Yeah, for instance, I always wanted to be able to go have a forest walk twice a day, and I never did it. And now all of a sudden I just allowed it, and it gave me so much energy. And then also because I wasn't in this structure, I could more choose the things that gave me energy in the moment, and then do kind of switch between the impulses of inspiration.
Yeah, I get it. So you didn't have to go somewhere, or you didn't have an appointment there, so you could, like, you were free to, oh, now I feel like playing the piano, or now I feel like doing the copy or whatever that you had to do.
Exactly. And I realized that sometimes that following my own instinct or my own inspiration gave me then the energy to continue with something that I thought I should do first.
Because you wanted to get done and over with, but maybe you needed to do something first to have the actual energy to do it in the way you wanted to do.
Exactly.
That's beautiful. So like really listening to your inner clock and what you feel that you actually need.
Yes, exactly. And kind of also to shift that perspective on a collective level, that I think in the future we will be all kind of forced to do that more. The energies will guide us to do that more, and this phase is just accelerating this structure more. I think we all were so conditioned to work in this linear way. We talked about it two podcasts away with this masculine and feminine.
Our last one.
Our last one.
I think it was the last one. About the masculine and feminine energy.
Exactly. And so much is so deeply within us that we think, okay, only if I can only be successful if I do it this way. And I think we will all be invited, either by free will or some change in the collective will force us into create more from our own truth and our deep essence, so that everyone lives by their own agendas and structures and way of growing.
That's beautiful.
Yeah,
That's very beautiful. And actually, when we think about it, if we would give ourselves that freedom, and if our society would give us that freedom, how much more productive and happy we would be if we could live our life structured by our own inner needs instead of like how things have to be. It's actually
exactly.
crazy when you think about it. And of course, we have all these beliefs about we have to be busy, we have to work hard,
Mm.
be worthy of whatever,
Yes, yes.
like success, anything that's good in life, right? So we have all these beliefs, and I really think many of these beliefs also were challenged during these times because we couldn't work hard, or some of us couldn't work hard, or because they weren't
Mm-hmm.
able to work. So just
Mm-hmm.
be with yourself and figuring out, what do I actually want if there's nothing,
Mm-hmm.
to work
Yeah.
hard for, and where
Yeah.
do we take our own worth from when we can't work hard? Yeah, that's true.
And I mean, I think it was necessary in a certain time and phase in society, when we were more like, first it was more about the survival, like being able to even, how do I find my food, how do I survive in this climate or this weather. And then we went into the phase where we were more like industrializing things. We created machines, but a lot of people had jobs. They just went there for the money, and maybe the jobs were really, they suffered
Yeah.
to create them. Like um, they were only like little machines. And now we move into the new paradigm where actually a lot of machines take over those jobs, and
Mm-hmm.
every one of us can focus more on what does really fulfill me and create their own little paradise.
Mm-hmm.
And that's, we're all moving more and more into that. That's what I believe. But
I hope so. I hope so. And of
um,
course, there are still like many people who I think, what is she talking about? I don't feel any
yes,
paradise here, and it's just hard, or I just lost my job, or I don't, I don't have financial struggles or health problems or whatever. But I know what you mean, and also that like this is like not something that happens overnight, or that is something that makes like, it's like a click and it's done. It's like work that we have to put into, like in the on the mindset, but also of course like the whole transformative
mm-hmm.
path that's needed to get there.
Yes,
Yeah,
and I
I get
mean,
that.
we're shifting, we're still shifting, and this deconditioning is sometimes so hard, because it's so deep in us, like in our DNA, and then also the way, depending on how we were brought up, um, what were the parents' beliefs and the society around us. So yeah, we're in the middle of all that.
We're in the middle of the transformation. Yeah.
Yeah. And for you, what was your truth bomb of this and last week?
There was a lot, because I'm totally into, we just had a chat before this recording about like gene keys and human design, where I'm totally like, I'm such a geek right now. I love this stuff so much, and I don't know shit about it yet, but I'm really learning. So and I've learned about my gene key at life's work, and I think the gift, like every gene key has like a shadow part, the gift part, and that's so-called CD, which is like the most enlightened version of this gene key. And like my shadow is like it's not constriction, I think it's not constriction, also C word, but like where you like keep yourself small, I think it's constriction.
Yeah, constriction makes
I
sense.
think that's the word, right? And then the second is like the gift is like acceptance, and then like universal love is the CD. And for me, like this whole acceptance part, this is where it really clicked so hard for me, because I'm a warrior. I'm a warrioress. I really have that energy. So I'm a lot of, if I don't like something, I fight against it or for it. This is what I do, right? So, but there's also like, and I love that about my energy. I like this part. And there also is like this, there can be this pitfall of being in resistance to things. and not going into the acceptance part, like just looking, like really surrendering and softening into what is. And like in the last years of my life, I was so forced to like going into that place where I could not, my warrior could not work there. It didn't work, like fighting against some circumstancing I was in, or fighting against stuff that has happened in my life. So this like accepting was such a crucial part of my journey. So it makes so much sense to learn about that now and to look back and to see the quality of how much freedom, because freedom is one of my biggest like desired feelings that I have.
Core desired feeling.
Exactly. It's really one of the big ones, the pillar of my life. And if I don't feel free, or if something doesn't feel free, I'm mostly not choosing to do it. And at the same time, I also realized the freedom that it gives if you can go into acceptance. Like when you can just say, this is how it is.
Exactly.
And I can, for example, there are things I really don't like about myself. I think we all have these parts where you think, oh, why do I always have to be so emotional? Or why do I always have to, like, why am I still not over this? Why do I have still this trauma reaction to something, for example, or whatever? It can be anything. It can also be, for example, I have scoliosis and kyphosis in my back. I have a bent spine. And I mean, like, I was in resistance toward my back for such a long time of my life. I thought like I was ugly and it was gross and whatever. And of course, I also heard the feedbacks of kids, because, kids can be quite cool, grow up. But anyhow, it's like accepting that part. I remember how much this has transformed my life, accepting this is my back. I mean, like, I can just fight it forever. I can hate it forever. Or I can just say, this is my back. And of course, people are still sometimes calling me Hunchback of Notre Dame, or, like people, or mostly kids, because they just see that and then they say it, and this is not because they're mean, it's just because it comes out and they think, oh, she has a different back. And it's just so like to see how much like freedom it brings to just say, yes, this is my back. I have a special back, or I have a path, and there's this trauma reaction to XYZ, and just to be okay with that and not to having to fight against it. And like this acceptance is really like this warm embrace, this motherly warm embrace we all have been craving for. Somebody who comes and says, and it's okay, you're perfect as you are, like it's okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I think especially things like human design or the gene keys you're referring to, numerology, everything is such a nice way to be reflected of who you came here to be, and then it's much easier to accept and kind of slip into this role. I mean, when I know, okay, this actually is how I meant to be and how I'm meant to live, it's much easier to accept it. And that's
100%
so beautiful. And another image that just came to me when you talked about this split between the warrior and accepting is, do you know the yoga pose of the humble warrior?
No, I just know the warrior.
No, the humble warrior is actually, I'm going to show it to you.
Yes, please.
It's like really, the humble warrior is like melting and surrendering with his heart to the floor.
Oh.
And he's like really giving over. And I was just thinking, this is so, there is actually a way to be still the warrior and be the strong and have the, like, be like a mountain, but then give it over to
life.
And melting the heart. Melting from the heart.
It's exactly, it's also being this vessel, and this doesn't mean that you have to be like, you cannot be the warrior anymore, because again, this is something that I feel is giving me a lot of energy. And again, this is also partially who I'm meant to be. And having it in a greater picture, not like fighting against, more fighting for, and in the how are you fighting? Is this a peaceful one, or is this like a bloody, messy kind of Viking / Game of Thrones / Outlander kind of war.
Yeah,
I love
yeah.
Outlander, by the way. Anyhow, it's a detail.
Yeah, I can
So,
imagine.
yeah, it's yeah. I also love Vikings, and I love all these things. But yeah, anyhow, that's a different story for another time.
Yeah.
Yeah, but this is really where I feel this is such a big lesson. And we all, even though if you don't have the 25 in your life lesson, this is like a thing that we all have within us, because like universal love is something that speaks all to us and speaks to us all. This is what I say. And it's also like this accepting who we are. And I love that you said, yeah, it helps when we understand. And by saying so, we also have to remember that we only have 4% conscious. The rest of us is unconscious. So it's also okay not to know everything. Just when we know that we're okay as we are, no matter how many scars we have, how much chipped we are, like it's okay. It's not about being perfect. It's just about being us.
Yeah, and like nothing is better than the other.
Exactly.
Like every one was created for a special purpose to have exactly this function here on this world, to serve this higher love, or the soul of the world, whatever. And just knowing that you were specifically, or you chose to be specifically created with this and this and this and this way, with this body and with these stories that you will have as lessons to even experience the whole consciousness. And yeah, because consciousness just wants to be experienced through you.
100%. Yeah. And like I also love this quote now. I don't remember it like quote unquote like perfectly, but it's something like just be you, everybody else is taken, you know. Like it breaks it down so beautifully. Like you have your own gifts, you have your own beautiful being, so just be you and figure out who you are instead of trying to copy other people. And of course, that's what we do also when we were kids. This is what we do. We copy our parents. We learn how to work, how to function in society, what is good, what is bad, what is allowed, what's not allowed, all these labels that we put on things. And of course this helps us, but it's actually also their crutches. And often we pick up so much more than just the rules. We also like start copying behavior. And if you're not conscious about these things, it's so easy to just like keep on doing these things that our parents did, or maybe our aunts did, or our teachers did, instead of figuring out, but how do I actually want to do things? How does it feel best for myself?
And subconsciously you're suffering. You subconsciously realize something is not in alignment, something doesn't feel right. And this can go back like to different generations before you. You can carry on patterns and belief systems, maybe from your great grandmother, and when they are not in a way looked at consciously or solved, you will pass it forward.
100%. Yeah.
And I think this this time is important to dive into who you are. And I mean, it will never end. I think
I want to say
until we leave this body, we will continue to dive and into this journey of who am I actually. Otherwise there was no point to be here.
That's so true. And the cool thing is we have this beautiful actually signposts, which are our emotions that show us, okay, am I on the right path? Does this feel good? Is this what I want? And the more we learn about really trusting our feelings and learning how to trust our intuition, this is the funny thing. The more tests I do, the more I learn. I'm also realizing, I knew these things all along. I just didn't believe it, or I put it or brushed it off, or know, it's just like you actually see, oh, I could just also listen from the start because it was everything was already there. We just don't trust these things because nobody taught us about these things, that people are different, that like these kind of things are important.
Because also really our school system is not created to really honor the individual in a child.
No,
it's
absolutely
just sometimes it's not that bad anymore as it used to be, but it's still kind of this uniform, like kind of when you bake little
cookie cutter kind of thing.
Yes,
like,
exactly.
Exactly.
And this whole everything that helps us to become more of who we are and to dive deeper into the frequency of who you are will on the long run help everyone around us.
100%. So what would you suggest somebody, if somebody's watching this and thinks, oh God, where to start? What can I do to figure out who I am?
Yes. So you, Priska, and funnily me at the same time, we have been diving deep into this human design, and you also mentioned the gene keys. Maybe you can link somewhere where we can see, and then also really going back to your inner child. Who was, when you look at old pictures, who was this child before it got conditioned? What's your first memory of yourself? Maybe you need to ask your parents what was the energy of this child before it started to take on all the patterns from school or teachers and parents and friends and everything we're exposed to, and then really go back and work with that inner child. I think that's a good point to start. And probably never stops, because as soon as we're triggered, something in us is showing us that there still needs some healing.
100%. I would also, what you like inner child work is so important. I remember when I first learned about the inner child, I learned that it in my kinesiologist after a kinesiology session, and I just cried the whole night by realizing, oh my goodness, how have I been treating myself? How I've been talking to myself, like so bad, so judgmental, everything. So I remember this night only, just being like mourning my inner child, like how I've been treating her, just healed something so massively. And I really was holding myself. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. And it was so, like, I still have goosebumps when I think about it. It was such a beautiful, intimate moment with myself, actually, when I first got in contact with her. And also what you've mentioned, I think this is so crucial, that we get in contact with our emotions, because again, our emotions are like the language of our body, and our body is very much connected to like it's like this tool that we actually have that tells us when something's off or something is not is good. When we feel bliss, like happiness or joy, this is when you're actually your soul is saying, yes, we're aligned, everything is great, like the mind, soul and body, everything's aligned. And when something is off, this is when we feel like, we also feel it physically, maybe we feel annoyed, or maybe we feel a stomach pain, or we feel like just somehow off. And to pay attention to these things, not just brush them away, but asking what happened, what's happening, like is there a circumstance, are there circumstances that are not serving myself right now, or did I not like honor a boundary, or what would I need in order to feel safe again or happy again or whatever. And these things can so massively help to like actually mold the person that you are, and to figure out how you can protect your inner child and yourself much better in your everyday life, so that you can really have a life that is aligned with what you want.
Yeah.
And it can be something very small, like, for example, closing doors. Like, for example, when you are an entrepreneur, you're having your own business and your child is constantly coming into your office or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Just to make very clear, okay, from this time till this time, mommy is just working and you cannot come in. And then afterwards, I will be fully there, of course, you know, like just having these little things set up, and mostly kids totally accept that. If there's, you know, if there's clarity, okay, then not, and then yes, she's fully there, you know. And this already can create so much more freedom for somebody. And other people don't need it at all, because they love it when people come and go, and it's, you know, it gives them energy.
There is, for example, that's a beautiful example of conditioning. Maybe your mother was always there for you 24/7, and now you feel guilty to take the time away to work, and then you kind of live with this guilt inside, which again reflects to your child, and the child cannot really read this emotion and thinks, okay, I'm not wanted, I'm not loved, blah blah blah. But actually, if you stand up for your needs and for your rhythm that you need, and you talk to the child exactly like that and explain it, then the child will understand it, and there will be no false reading.
Yeah, misunderstandings that can cause so much shizzle if you don't, because the kids, as you said, it just will feel mommy is unhappy. I make mommy unhappy. Yes. I'm a bad child, you know, exactly. Like all the stories that we start telling ourselves, right? And if we just can be clear what we actually need, and like boundaries is like such a, oh my goodness, it's the topic of my life, like having boundaries.
Boundaries is like the word of 2020, I feel.
It's like my life word, really. Like seriously, it's like it's such a challenge for me, having really knowing what I actually need, and then like having them up. Like mostly when I know what I need, I do it, but
I also speak it out.
The thing is not even, like even like the first step for me is even like accepting the fact that I need that now, because then I think, oh, it's silly, or what are other people thinking,
or you're too self-centered, or
exactly, all this BS that we're telling ourselves. And since I've learned, and it's so funny because of course I'm now in a different family now, because I have been coming in a new family system. It's not something that I have built from the start, but that is so incredibly different from the family I grew up in. And it's so funny now, I do things in my old families wouldn't have worked. I know that, but now it's just like, it's so easy, and they just, you know, it's like I always think, what was my problem? Why did it take me so flipping long to just do it? And it's just so interesting. Like, I think boundaries would be a great topic to talk about for a whole bloopers, truth bombs and bloopers. I always put the bloopers first. What does this say about me? Truth bombs and bloopers.
Yeah, you can say it whatever way.
Yeah, okay, it works both ways.
Maybe, we can start with the bloopers, maybe. But let's take this boundary subject for the next series. And really dive into the boundaries.
Yeah, because I think so many women are like, oh my goodness, struggling with that so hard. And
it's universal. It's universal.
That's true. It's women and men, but I think women are even more, because of like the whole patriarchy past, the woman has to serve, but of course the men too, because they were like had to take care of their families. So like, of course, we all have issues there. Or most of us have issues there. There are some very special individuals who have zero problems with that. And I have one in my house. Yeah, she's my stepdaughter. She's the top notch with boundaries.
Let's see when she will be like, when she has her own family. Let's see how it will.
True. That's true.
It's challenge. I think part of being a teenager is testing those boundaries.
Yeah, that's true.
And not really realizing, and not even realizing that other people might also have boundaries.
That's true, or could get hurt, or could, I don't know. They just don't care. That's true.
They don't feel. I think the teenage years are really diffuse. They don't really feel themselves, but that's the hormones are messing up with them.
The hormones. Oh my goodness, the hormones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And something I wanted to add or underline even more, the emotions and the wisdom of the body, because we so often take this body just as something we just given and we just, okay, it's just working. And like for me, the biggest intention when I work with my yoga students and coaching clients is always to start a relationship with their body and really listen every day. What I mean, this back pain is not just here to bother us or to it's really here, it's an information. If the body could speak or write you a short message on your iPhone, we would understand it much quicker. But these are informations. And what you said, you know, is, if I have to make a decision, am I hunching or am I opening up and expanding? And it says everything about your decision you should make.
True, especially when you're a generator, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And there we go again.
Yeah. But I realized that with a lot of people, you know, when they come to class, like they're annoyed with their body. I have this pain again and again. The stupid body is like giving me this pain. Well, why is it giving you this pain? Maybe you didn't give it a lot of attention the last few weeks. Maybe it's time to really listen what your body needs,
what the message is.
Yeah. And I think if we did it once, this exercise, that your body is writing a letter to you. Did we do this exercise once?
You did that once with me, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I remember that one.
Also, when I did it the first time, it's the same like with the story you told about your inner child. I realized, oh my God, I didn't listen to my body and not feeling like a team. And now I feel very much like a team.
Yeah.
And I want to nourish my partner. I want to give it the best food I can and the best workouts and relaxation I can, because we are a team.
I love that.
I only have this one bodysuit. So
I love that so much. And this is something that I really like. That we can also make a whole thing about that one, you know, body love.
Okay, this will be the next one after the.
Oh my goodness, yeah, no, because it's true. I mean, like I have an eating disorder. Eating disorder story. You know, like how you actually hate everything about your body. Then with my back, then you know, just looking differently. There's so much that we can talk about.
We will do one episode. Body love.
Body love. Yeah, it's a thing.
It's a big thing for all.
Yeah, and it's crazy. Like you saw my post. I shared my story, and there's so many reactions and private messaging. Like my whole phone blew up, you know, like
wow. Yeah.
And I know like so many of us are in the same situation. So I think especially because you are such a specialist in, you know, like creating this beautiful beautiful relationship between the body and yourself. And I mean, like I'm a relationship expert. I know about relationships, and I know when you treat one of the partners like that, probably it will not be there for you, like not in the way it could be as if you would respect it and really listen to it and have this beautiful, healthy, loving relationship with it. So I would love to talk with you about that, and also the wisdom that you have to share with the people about that.
Yeah, we'll do that, definitely.
Perfect. Yeah. And then because I also was thinking it, so when you said people are annoyed because I have my knee pain, like my knee is acting up now and then in a very strange way. And I also feel like this feeling of not again. And I love to walk, you know, like I have 2 dogs. I love to walk, and every time it does this again, I feel like, no, please, no. And I also can get angry that I think, what the hell, because I don't know what I'm doing wrong, or, you know. Yeah, exactly, like beating it up for being like, and of course I've learned, but still there's the initial thing is still like,
okay, then do the exercise and let your knee write you a letter.
Okay, kneel it. Let's talk.
I would do it. Really, some information can come out that you didn't expect.
I will do that. Yeah, because I'm really curious, and it's something that's really bothering me because, again, I love to walk, and like if I cannot walk, I feel like, so again, like my freedom feels compromised. So
yeah. And also, I mean, I believe that all these organs and parts of our bodies, they have their own spirit. And sometimes it's really just about the attention. That's why before every class, I ask my students, okay, listening to your body, which are the parts that are screaming for attention? Can you give it now in this lesson? Can you give this attention? And sometimes the pain just goes, or maybe gets less just by giving it the attention. Or often from a disbalance, you know, using more this side, the other side is screaming, hey, I want some more attention. Or after a surgery, for instance, where one part of the body had so much attention, the other side wants it too.
I get it. Like, hello, like a child that didn't
like a child, exactly.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Interesting topic. I think we can really make a beautiful episode from that.
Yeah. And maybe this can be an exercise that all listeners can do.
I love that one. I'm going to write with I'm going to communicate with I already did that, but I didn't write the letter. So
yes, do that. Really.
It's going to be
Dear Priska,
helpful.
Your knee in the end. Is it the right knee or the left knee? The right.
It's the right knee. It's funny because normally I always had issues with my left knee, and and now it's all of, and I went into like osteopathy and whatever, and then now it was really good. And since 2017 in summer, it was the first vacation with my stepkids, so maybe there was something. It started acting up, but sometimes it's super great. I don't feel stuff, and then all of a sudden it felt like something falls out, and then it makes this knock with every step I take, and it doesn't really hurt, but then later that starts hurting. I don't know if I should not really walk. So, but it's the right knee now.
It's the right knee. Yeah, your
masculine right knee.
Your masculine body side. Yeah, maybe sometimes it's just a disbalance, and you feel it there. Yeah.
I will look into that. So thank you very, very much.
Thank you.
This conversation, Christina.
Conversation.
So
we already know what we do next time, and the next
time. Great. We've never had that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my God. I feel so intellectual if I can do this.
You look like businesswoman in New York rush hour.
Yeah, in the rush. It's so rush hour here, man. Sure. Tumbleweed going.
No one is outside in the street. The Priska is all.
I am super rush hour. Yeah, that's me, baby. What can I do about it?
Yeah.
What glasses can do, eh?
You just need to get things done, right?
Yeah, I mean, like that's how it, and then I do this, and I'm just back to to trashy, lazy Priska. Like, oh my goodness, so businessy.
So, just for the end, maybe link because this is a blue blocking glass, right?
Yeah, blue light blocking glasses, exactly.
And what brand is it?
I have zero clue, and I think you cannot buy that where you are because it's a Dutch production.
Yes,
because, I had a brand one, the one that my stepdaughter sat on, so I decided to go for the cheaper version this time. But I really have no clue. I think it's not a real brand actually. It's just one shop.
Yeah, because
you can buy it everywhere. Amazon. You just put in blue light glasses, and they will pop up, and you can just make your choice.
Yeah. Because I just ordered some, and let's test it and then talk about it. Because I heard really, really amazing things. People were sleeping better when they were using them, and they had less headaches, less nervous, things like that.
Yeah, like I really have been wearing them twice now. And I really slept both nights fabulously. I even woke up before the clock, which never happens.
Wow.
It can be coincidence. It can be the blue light glasses. I don't know.
See how you continue. And you wear them the whole day?
No, not totally. No, not just actually when I work on the computer.
Yeah, that's what I mean. But like even in the morning.
Yeah, sometimes I do forget, but I just try to do that even during calls now. Like, of course, I'm not going to wear them all the time, but I just for now thought like, let's just give it a try. And up till now, I really had like the sleeping. It was really good, and I'm very grateful for that.
Yeah,
because sometimes I really have such very restless sleeps,
especially if you're so open to receiving energies and
oh my goodness, and dreaming. I'm dreaming, like sometimes I also have dreams. I feel like I have been running the whole another episode. Okay,
mille grazie mille, and see you next time.
Hi, this is Christina and Priska from Bloopers, Truth Bombs and Bloopers, sorry. I really feel like I can do this. Ich habe mich so kompetent gefühlt.
Your clothing makes everything up. So
my clothing makes it. I don't even wear a bra, for those who want to know. So executive I am. Okay, once more.
About
I have no clue what I was talking about.
It was also about
it has just left the building.
Okay, rewind.
I'm still not there. Het doe ik echt sehr viel exekutiver aus.
Ja, absolut.
Das ist krass.
Absolut. Stopp jetzt da mal schnell.
Du mal stoppen.